In part 1 of this series, we saw that how time series data writes write-ahead logs, mem table, and SS tables. But here's what I didn't explain in that video, that how it compresses so aggressively. How a number that takes 8 bytes in raw form takes only 1 to 2 bytes in the disk. So let's start with the timestamps. Your database is recording your CPU usage every 15 seconds. And the timestamps may look something like this. Each one 64-bit integer, 8 bytes each. But look at the gap. That is 15. Exactly 15 every time. So instead of storing the full number, you stored the initial timestamp and later on just the delta values. A delta of 15 fits in 1 byte. So you just went from 8 bytes to 1 per timestamp. And that's delta encoding. Now the values, the actual float numbers. CPU usage over 4 samples. These are 64-bit floats, 8 bytes each. But they barely change between the samples. So what if instead of storing the whole number, you just store the bits that have changed? You take two values and XOR them. This bitwise operation gives you only the bits that differ. Similar values XOR to almost 0. So you encode only those few different bits. That is called XOR compression, described in the Gorilla paper by Facebook in 2015. And that's why InfluxDB and Prometheus can store a float under 2 bytes on an average. So compression isn't magic. It's two simple ideas working together. Delta encoding for the timestamps and XOR encoding for the values. Both work because time series data is predictable. Values don't jump randomly and timestamps follow a fixed interval. Part 3 would be about how these databases partition the data by time and how that lets you delete months of data instantly without touching even a single row. But before part 3, if you need a deeper dive on write-ahead logs and SS tables, then do comment this in the comments.